This video series has explored a direction for the transformation of contemporary society. Every such direction rests on a view of who we are. I now make some remarks about the content of that view. Our experience of freedom, of life, of self-construction has two centers. One center has to do with our relation to other people. The other with our relation to society. To be free, we must connect. But every such connection threatens us with loss of autonomy and distinction. To be free, we must be able to connect without being subjugated. We have such an experience in personal love. But outside the sphere of intimacy, we can have it only through cooperation among free and equal individuals. That ideal has no obvious institutional form. The institutional proposals that have been the subject of this series attempt to translate that ideal into the particulars of our circumstance with the materials that our historical moment gives us. The other focus of our experience has to do with our relation to society. To be free, we have to be able to engage in a real social world. Every such engagement, however, seems to require from us as its condition that we surrender to society. To be free, we must be able to engage without surrendering and be at the same time insiders and outsiders. We must be able to deny the last word to the social order and keep it for ourselves. I have asked in these videos under what economic and political arrangements do we stand a better chance of engaging without surrendering. They must be arrangements that help organize their own revision in the light of experience, so that they cease to entrap us and become instruments of our liberation. These are projects that go forward in historical time, slowly, beyond the scope of a human life. We don't live in historical time, we live in biographical time, and we must therefore ask of ourselves what we should demand of ourselves, given the imperfections of politics and the disappointments of history. Each of us awakens to the surprise of life, and as we grow older, a carapace of routine and compromise begins to form around us. A rigidified form of the self, our character, that is then wedded to the circumstance in which we find ourselves. It's as if a mummy began to form around the living agent. And within that mummy, each of us slowly dies, many deaths. To be free, to come into the possession of life, we have to break out of this mummy. And the price for breaking out of it is the acceptance of a heightened vulnerability. We can demand of society only that it give us a better chance of destroying the mummy from within and living life as a search. We do not live to become more godlike, increasing our share in the divine attribute of transcendence. We become more godlike in order to live. And the ideal that commands our actions is that we live in such a way that we can die only once.